by Straight Out Designs here, and today I'll be teaching you how you could create vector halftones. So vector halftones are basically a pattern of dots that become smaller from bigger. If we focus on the dark vector halftones, we see that the dots are closer together and big, and slowly get smaller and have more spacing between them. In the medium vector halftone, we see that the dots are big but have more spaces in between them than from the dark one, and they also get small with the gradient. And now we got the light halftone. The light halftone has very small dots which are further apart and which get further smaller and like this, and after some times they vanish. These vector halftones could be used as patterns, brushes, or reflections, as backgrounds also. There are many uses. So let's get on to it. I'll create a new file, and as we want to create a vector halftone brush, we would have a I could say document size to 2500 by 2500 pixels, and have the resolution to 73, and press OK. I'll press Ctrl 0 and make it the canvas size. Now what we want to do is that take up our gradient tool by clicking and holding on the paint bucket tool. The gradient tool by default should be black to white, as they are your foreground and background colors. But first we want to have the first color stop on a very dark gray, but not actually a black, somewhat like this, which would be 1 2 1 2 1 2. Press OK. And now take up our rulers, press Ctrl R to bring them up, and drag and hold a ruler between the document. It should just snap into the center of the document, and do this with the top also, and like this. And now we'll hide these rulers by pressing Ctrl R, press Ctrl and R again, and start by drawing our gradient. We'll have the cursor in the middle and just drag it out somewhere until here, and leave it there. And my computer is getting slow a little bit, so it even has to apply a gradient in so much time. Well, getting back to the tutorial. Now what we want to do is that we'll go to filter and go to pixelate and choose color halftone. Here we see a couple of options. The max radius is from the maximum radius that the dot will have when it's dark, and all the channels would be maybe 108, the channel 2 would be 162, then 90, then 45. We want all of these to be 0 0 0 and 0. Press OK, and we see that a nice pattern is created here. I'll just zoom into it to show that to you. As we see that the pattern is somewhat like this. As the color is dark in between, it has larger dots and they are close enough so that they can even join some in some parts. And as we move on, we get dots which are smaller, are lighter in color, and are further apart. If we just undo what we did now, I could show you what we get if we have the radius at somewhat lower value. Go to filter, again pixelate, color halftone, and this time the maximum radius would be around 5. Press OK, and here we see that these dots are now a little bit smaller but are more in number. We'll again press Ctrl Z and again go back to a new guide. Now what we'll do is that take up a lighter gradient, which also would be going to white. Here we'll have the first color stop at somewhat middle at 828282. press OK, and again make this gradient somewhat here. We have the gradient here now. Again go to filter, pixelate, color halftone, and this time have the maximum radius to around 15. All the channels again to 0 and press OK. Here we have a lighter halftone like this. We have smaller dots, have more space between these dots, and a little subtle kind of gradient here. If you want to know how I am zooming in and out, if you don't know the trick already, you could just go to the preferences menu by pressing Ctrl K. The preference menu should come up, and just choose the option that is zoom with scroll wheel. Press OK, and you will now have the ability to zoom with the scroll wheel of your mouse. Now we will create another halftone. We'll press Ctrl Z and have the color of the first color stop at a very light gray, or you could say a dark white, somewhat to CF, CF, CF. Press OK. Here we will draw the gradient again. This time you might not even see the gradient, but it will actually affect our halftone, and have the maximum radius to 15. Press OK. And here we have very small dots which are very far apart than the other gradients we created before, like this. And now we could just experiment with the maximum radius again. First I'll press undo or Ctrl Z to undo this action, and go back to the gradient, go to filter, pixelate, color halftone, and now have the maximum radius at 21. Press OK. This time we have bigger dots, and the color is not that light in the last dots like in these parts. Now about creating a vector brush from these halftones. So if you know how to create the brushes, then it's good. Otherwise I'm gonna teach you how to do that. We will take up our marquee tool first to make the brush, and select the area of the halftone. Be sure that you do not cut any of these smaller dots, as it spoils all the experience and the fun of making the halftone. We'll go to edit menu and press define brush preset here. I'll name the brush as halftone tutorial. Press OK. Now we have a new brush at our brush set. To see that, we'll go to the brush palette and go down. I'm sorry for the little cut, as I had to go and cough a little bit. My throat's a little sore these days. I'm getting back to the tutorial. We have got our brush here. I had and the end of the brush set here, and let's test that again. We see that we got a very nice brush here. You could just draw patterns or like just paint madly around there. We'll press Ctrl Z or just get back to our main home. So basically this is it, and we are done with the tutorial. Getting back to the point from where we started. Maybe now you know how these halftones work, and if you have any doubts you could just comment below in the comment section. And maybe now you know how these halftones work, and they are basically gradients but in a pixelated form. As the gradient is darker, the dots are bigger, and as the gradient is lighter, the dots are smaller and further apart. and so on in all the cases. The darker your gradient would be, the bigger the dots, and again that same thing. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and liked the video. If you learned something new, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more Photoshop tutorials, giveaways and fun stuff. Thanks for watching.